The Padres are a bipolar team. We went through that whole streak of, scoring a lot of runs, scoring one run, scoring a lot of runs, scoring one run, back and forth. And then we're finally showing signs of improvement, finally showing signs that we can hit the baseball. And then we put up 3 runs against the Nelson Lamet today. And this is the problem with the San Diego Padres, guys. We never are consistent. It seems like year in, year out. Let's talk about the Nelson Lamet. He comes into the game with a 12.42 ERA, one of the worst pitchers in baseball, literally -1 BWAR, and we don't take care of business. I saw a comment from JD's Third, one of my subscribers. He said that how come we can't hit guys like Met? How come we can't hit poor pitching? And I agree with him. At some point the Padres have to keep taking care of business, and we just don't seem to do that. And that is why I say that we are a bipolar team, because we show signs of improvement. We show signs that we're actually starting to come together. 9 runs in the first game, not as much yesterday, but still we're actually looking like a better team. Shout out the pitching. Like I've been saying, the pitching looks a lot better, but at the end of the day, guys, we're not hitting consistently, and that is a big problem. And there's also some questionable moves from Bob Melvin today that I'm definitely going to get into. But first, I just want to focus on this hitting, because it is just killing me as a fan watching this team sometimes. There's no excuses not putting up all these runs against pitchers like the Nelson Lamet, all these guys who just aren't very good. The Colorado Rockies bullpen, they're not a good bullpen. And we were like 15 in a row retired today. Like at least 15 Padres came to bat in a row and we're all retired. That is just not good. And I know we can say all we want about the rain delay, Bob Melvin's decisions putting Luis Garcia in, taking out Snell. I'll get to that in a minute. But at the end of the day, we should not have been in a position where it was a close game. And I think that we have to be more accountable. There's no more of this BS blaming it on something else. At the end of the day, the bats got to get to going. The pitching is doing its job overall. I don't think anybody's really denying that. I'm very happy with how Blake Snell looks right now, because think about it like this, guys. He's obviously a very much so second half pitcher. All right. We know as second half Snell, but he's showing signs that, that second half is coming out now. And I'm telling you guys, when Blake Snell's on, he is freaking on. I made a video a while ago, probably like last July, really early in my YouTube career. And I said how Blake Snell's the most talented pitcher in baseball. And I still stand by that. But listen to this, guys. I don't mean most talented, like, lights out, rah-rah, DeGrom type guy. Obviously not the health, thankfully. But I mean, like, the break on his pitches is unbelievable. Blake Snell, when he's on, he's striking out all these people. He struck out 12 today. It's just he has trouble with command. But then when he gets good in the second half, that is when he's really good. Is why do we put Luis Garcia in? It makes no sense. He's old. He's not very good anymore. And, frankly, he's not had a great year. And then also he's just coming off the aisle. This is his first appearance, like I mentioned. That made no sense, And then okay, Cosgrove has to come in to stop the bleeding. Huge shout out to Juan Soto. What a play. Getting out of that inning with a double play, diving play. I know he's not the best defender, but he does come up with some big diving catches. Remember in the beginning of the season, that catch against the Braves, like he has, but then he's also an idiot sometimes, dropping routine stuff. It's very weird. But regardless, great job by Soto. And apparently the reason why we left Cosgrove in the 9th was to face Brian McMahon, who actually is reverse splits. I don't know if you guys know that. So that really didn't make as much sense. But basically, he misses the sweeper, misses it inside, you can see by the pitch location. And my goodness, was that a bomb? And I would have taken him out. Here's the thing. I get it. Playing the matchup. Yes, reverse splits, but still, it's still close to your body. It's still harder to see the ball. You can say, what do you want about numbers? But you want to play the matchup. I get it. But if you guys are working a pitcher over an inning, guys are going to learn about it. Guys are going to come back to the dugout. Okay, I'm seeing this pitch from him. I'm seeing this for pitch. Maybe sit on this pitch. They get scouting reports from the guys who've already been up. And, I don't know if that was right in Cosgrove. Honestly, I might have just risked not taking the lefty-lefty matchup, maybe putting in Tim Hill. I know you have to face 3 batters, but I just, that's what I'm thinking about that. I think those are not great decisions by Bob Melvin. I didn't think he managed this game great. I honestly think he should have let Snell go. I get it was precautionary with, getting smoked by that liner, but he looked great. He literally finished the inning after getting smoked. He didn't even come out of the game. So why? Maybe it hurt more. I don't know. But yeah, that wasn't really ideal in my opinion. And I just want to talk about this. This next week, the Guardians and the Rays might determine our season. And you know what? It probably won't, but it could. And here's why. The Padres have some momentum still. Yes, we win the series with the Rockies, but we unfortunately don't complete the sweep, which would have been so nice. But we want to prove we can beat some good teams. The Guardians, they're probably around the same skill level as us right now. They have a similar record. They got Shane Bieber, although he's not going to come up in his starts against us. Thankfully, don't have to face him. But, J-Ram, he's a great player. Naylor's going off right now. Thanks, AJ, for getting rid of him. But it's just, I don't know. We gotta win games against good teams, and I think this is a good way to prove it. The Rays are a solidified World Series contender, and coming into the season, we were supposed to be too. But that doesn't matter. That's all numbers. That's all on paper stuff. It's just how you play. You win championships on the field, not in your preseason rankings. You know what I mean, guys? But if we can use any of this momentum that we still probably lost a little bit, it'd be huge for us to bring it to these next couple series. Because I just think, we got to prove that we can beat some better teams, because we are not showing to, take care of business and beat the worst teams. It's the story of the Padres really all the time. I remember in 2021, I always thought to myself before I started the channel, you know, we face all these terrible pitchers and we struggle. And then we just go off against good pitchers. We beat good teams, but we don't beat bad pitchers. We saw it a little bit last year when I was worried about, just right after we acquired Juan Soto. The first month with Soto, we were like under 500. It made no sense. And, it's like the same thing. Like we couldn't beat bad pitching like we saw today with the Nelson Lamet. Perfect example. I made a video a while ago, probably early August or something like that. And I was talking about how, like, they're throwing guys like Anibal Sanchez against us in the Nationals, and we just seem to get shoved every time. Same thing with Jameson Taillon this year, who came in that game with an 8.04 ERA. The Nelson Lamet comes in with a 12.42 ERA, and he only gives up 3. Like, guys, that is terrible. I don't know if you guys were watching the game or listening, but in the 4th inning, Don Orsillo literally said that the Nelson Lamet to that game has never gotten out in the 4th inning. And obviously we have that big home run in that inning, but then we get outs. I mean, like, we have to be putting up better at bats. And even after he got taken out, when the Rockies bullpen retired 15 hitters in a row, that just cannot happen. All right. At some point we got to be better. And if we're not going to be able to, just clamp down and just beat bad teams, take care of business, we're not going to make the playoffs. And right now, the only reason we're still somewhat in that wild card chase is because of our pitching. It's that simple. Our pitching has been so crucial to the way that this team's playing. Because think about it like this. We're very similar to the New York Mets. Our offense has not been good, but our pitching has been stellar. Earlier in the season, the starters were struggling. I said, like, how's the offense supposed to get going when we're already down a couple of runs? But now it's like this exact opposite. Like, there's so much weight on these pitchers' shoulders, and the inconsistency of the offense is a great example of it. The Padres are bipolar. Like I say, they score 12 runs again, and they score 1 run, and then they score a lot of runs 2 games in a row, and then this happens. You throw up 3 runs or 4 runs at the final line at freaking Coors Field. Like, that's not good enough, guys. We're a good team. Look at our lineup. All right. We may be a good team on paper, but we have not put it together for real on the field. And that's just kind of the story this year. It's what everybody talks about with this team. When's it going to click? When's it going to click? And I hope it clicks, but it's not clicking consistency. And that's the problem. But back to what I'm saying, how these next 2 series might determine the rest of the year. I'm just going to say might, because you guys have to understand, it's not even at the All-Star break. The 2019 Nationals didn't turn it on until the second half. But obviously, I don't want to wait for that and be like, we're going to be fine. Just wait till the second half. Like, no, it's got to be, we got to start executing. We got to just start just dominating at some point. We got to start winning games consistently. That's what all these good teams do. I mean, at the end of the year, let's think about last season, 2022. We didn't really win consistency throughout the entire year till the last month. September was a great month for the Padres, and it all started after that horrible showing when we kept getting like no hit by Diamondback rookies, or getting like 7 inning pitched 1 earned run or something like that in somebody's debut. Bob Melvin sat the clubhouse down and was like, guys, what the frick, bro? Like, you know what I mean? It's got to be something like that. And here's the problem with all these club meetings. It doesn't do anything if you just do it like 100 times. Like these, like, oh yeah, we got to turn it on, guys. Rah speeches. I mean, we just got to make a collective, decision, I guess I can say, to just start executing offensively and just winning games, because pitching is not the problem. I don't think anybody denies that. But these next 2 series are important because we have to prove that we can beat some good teams. Okay, I don't expect to win the series with the Rays, but can we please win one of the games? I mean, we can't get swept, and we need to win the series against the Guardians. That is an absolute must. The Padres they just got to prove that they can beat some better teams. All right, because I'm so sick of, finally starting to play better, and then we just don't sweep the Rockies. And I get it. Series wins are great. I'm all for series wins. But at some point, we need to get all the wins we can get. All right, we're not even in the wild card right now, and it would be nice not to be trailing the last team the whole season. You know what I mean? I want to be in a spot where the team could be more comfortable. Obviously not comfortable to the point where, like we don't have any urgency, but to the point where we know that we're not on our last limb, like sprinting for the spot. All right, because we're not in the wild card right now. If the season ended today, we're not in the playoffs. Hey, look at this team: Manny Machado, Juan Soto, Xander Bogaerts, Fernando Tatis Jr. And I get it. That is a top heavy lineup, but these other guys that are supposed to be good, Cronenworth, not been good at all this year. I know he homered today. It's just, it's kind of disappointing, just the way that this team, the inconsistency is just the way to describe this year. Whether it be the greatest proof, runners in scoring position, batting average, still the lowest in the MLB, even after scoring all these runs in the last couple weeks, like when we score 10 every other game. It's just at some point we got to lock down and be more consistent. And I think that if we don't win, or at least put up some good games these next couple series, it's going to be a very bad sign because this team just needs some more confidence. We don't sweep the Rockies. We're inconsistent all the way around. We split this series with the Cubs. We split the series with the Mariners. We win the series with the Rockies. Guys, that is not going to cut it. Those teams are not very good. We need to start winning. The Mariners have a strikeout problem. They strike out like an insane amount of the time. The Cubs, they're just not that good. I mean, they started off hot and then they kind of got cold, and I guess they kind of just wavered back to what they were supposed to be. But at the end of the day, at some point, we have to play well consistently. That's what we did in September of last year, and that's why we made the playoffs. There was a lot of dark spots after we acquired Juan Soto. And you think about literally just when we kept getting shoved by these Diamondback rookies. We throw up 3 against Nelson Lamet, whose arm's about to fall off at any good point. He was on the Padres, pretty much blew out his arm, and he didn't even get TJ. So I don't know. And I just want to hope this. I just want to make sure that the Padres understand that we cannot just keep having the mindset that, it's going to happen eventually. I don't know that for sure. All right. We're in June and we're under 500. Did you guys see that one coming? Because I didn't. All right. And I don't even want to get blamed for not seeing this coming. I don't think anybody did. This team is unbelievably good on paper. And that is the problem. On paper. On paper is one thing. Winning is another thing, and that's done on the field. And that's what the Padres need to understand. Because if this team could start clicking consistently, we're going to be so dangerous. All right. On paper, we're better than the freaking Tampa Bay Rays, but the Rays know how to win. It's the same story every year. The Dodgers, they just know how to win. They got Miguel freaking Rojas as their shortstop. You got to win championships on the field, and that's what the Padres aren't doing. I think they walk in this year, expecting that they're going to be top dogs, and then the season just got really slow, and season got to a slow start, and they kind of got to a low place after that horrible split with the Rockies, and they didn't get consistent. Championships are won on the field, and I hope that they can learn this because it's not looking like they're playing with a sense of urgency sometimes, and that's what the problem is. At some point we got to start winning games, and I think that we need to just start with these series against the Start with these series against the Guardians and the Tampa Bay Rays, but I don't know. At some point we got to start playing better. And I think that it could happen. I mean, the pitching is doing everything they can. I think Manny's getting better. He's looking more hot. I mean, if Manny can get on a hot streak, he's going to be huge. I mean, I know I made a YouTube short yesterday saying if Manny Machado can put this team on his back, we're just going to be that much better. You think about 2022. You think about last year, right? Last year, Manny Machado literally put the Padres on his back. We traded for Juan Soto, and he wasn't even very good last year. Manny Machado was there all year. I guess the injury with that whole month where he was hitting under 200, but he really never left, and that's why we were so good. We had the guy to take us up to the next level, and I don't think there's anybody in that role right now. I don't think we really have a bona fide leader. You know what I mean? I feel like there's just a bunch of guys who are good at baseball, but they don't know how to play together, and that's what I'm seeing from this team. It doesn't seem like we're playing with much urgency. It doesn't seem like we're executing our at-bats. Grisham popping up the bump today. That can't happen. At the major league level, you got to get your freaking bunts down. All right. There's no excuses whatsoever. He doesn't do anything with the bat ever anyways. First of all, it's not fun having a center fielder hitting 190. So you got to get a freaking bunt down. And that was huge because then we only scored 1 run on that. But we have to score more before that. It should not have been that close of a game. Not with this lineup, not at that field. It just could not have. And that's what I'm disappointed about. The Padres just don't seem to beat bad teams. They don't seem to hit well at bad pitchers. And that's kind of just the story of the San Diego Padres. You know what I mean? And I just think that if the Padres want to do anything, the Padres want to win consistently, if the Padres want to make the playoffs, they have to take care of business. And I don't think Bob Melvin managed this game well today. Not at all, really. I get it. But Blake Snell was able to pitch after getting nailed by that pill. I mean, again, I don't know the full story, all right? Bob Melvin said it was more precautionary, but I get only if it started hurting more. I don't know. But definitely putting Luis Garcia in the 8th inning, that made absolutely no sense. Just coming fresh off the IL, was injured. He hasn't even been good this year. And I get it. Our bullpen's been pretty short, because we've been using them so much. But it's just, I would totally have gone maybe Cosgrove in the 8th and then Martinez or Hill in the 9th. And then the matchup having Costco going extra inning. I don't know about that. I might have just risked leaving Tim Hill in for 3 batters because Tim Hill's clutch. If you guys been watching Padres baseball, Tim Hill's clutch. So I'm not so sure about the decisions Bob Melvin made today, but at the end of the day, let's not pin all the blame on Bob Melvin, guys. We just didn't score. We didn't execute offensively, and that's just really the story of the Padres. Last in batting averages, runners in score position with this lineup is an absolute joke. And it makes me like scratch my head, like what's going on. But that's what I think about today. And I just hope that the Padres can just learn to play with some more urgency, because at some point the Padres just got to start turning it on. They got to turn on the burners. And I just hope, like I said, they cannot play with the mindset that it'll click eventually. All right, they got to play with the mindset that it needs to click now, and they need to execute on all facets of the game. And I think that that'd be a lot better for the team. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that Bob Melvin poorly managed the game, or do you think it was just something else? And what do you guys think about these next 2 series against the Guardians of the Rays? Because I think that this is a great way for the Padres to prove themselves and make them understand that, yes, they are a good team. They just need to play better consistently. That's the name of the game. You got to play well consistently. If we were to win series every single time the rest of the year, we're going to be in business. But you have to take care of business against teams like the Rockies, who just aren't good. You have to sweep there, because we need to win all the games we get. We're in the wild card race. I wish we were winning the division like we thought we would be, but we're not. And that's just the way it is. But we just got to start winning games. If we could just win games, it would be so much better. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching this first episode of the Padres Previews Podcast. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below of what I should do. What do you want me to talk about next time? Thank you for watching this podcast, and I'll see you in the next one.